are watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That gentleman out there is
Jay Silverman, the Valley of the Sun, Phoenix, Arizona.
woo. Damn, that's it.
Time
I want to say I live in Rodeo Drive, but I don't. I live in the heartbeat. I live in the armpit of San Gabriel. Anyway,
What's that, East LA?
yeah, almost. We're a little further than east. We're east of LA. Yes, we are. That's where I grew up, in the suburbs. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been dissecting and just pointing out all kinds of neat things with Casazul tequila. I've been chasing these folks for a couple of years. They were finally nice enough to have kind of a relaunch and a brand new investors. And I got to say, I love their packaging. Don't you, man?
Well, the box feels good. It's got these little waves on there. It feels nice in my hands.
Yeah, it's very tactile. It's got edges.
But it's a decent price point compared to a lot of the XAs out there. People are looking for a good value, and this would compare favorably to some of the more well-known extra anejos that they're competing with. So this is a new brand, and I'm gonna take it out of this beautiful box here. But
yeah. It's got a shorter cork on this one. Some of the corks are all different sizes for some reason in every expression. You either have a hard time pulling the cork or you don't. This one's got a shorter cork, and I think this is the one we've been waiting for. I actually would have had these samples late last year in 2020, but they were waiting. With a pandemic, it's tough to get orders for fulfilled and bottled and shipped. Just things are taking longer, folks. So a lot of your favorite brands could be out of stock wherever you are in the United States, and that's the reason why. So I was waiting on this one. This is the Extra Anejo. Again, not a whole lot of information on it, so we're just guessing with everybody else. We're using the NOM requirements to tell us how long they've been aged, and our flavor. Our taste buds to tell us what it's aged in. Boy, that looks beautiful.
There, because yours has more of a reddish tinge to it. Are you getting some sunlight in the room, or is that just
no?
light?
Actually, my lighting here's not the best. This one's got more
eyes. No, it looks great, but yours is appearing on camera to have like a beautiful kind of like a sunburst Les Paul color to it. Mine's
yeah. Well, now by the same token, I'm looking at yours through the Bermioli, and it looks like this dark whiskey color.
It does. Yeah. Mine looks darker on as of right now, but that doesn't mean much. I mean, it's just the lighting. But
no.
Overall, it's a beautiful, amber. It's a beautiful extra anejo. So I'm excited that they let us put it through the ringer. This is I really like their anejo, and it's kind of a fresh, modern take on extra anejo and anejo. So let's see. I poured
again the legs and tears on this one don't quit.
Obama pour here. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we're using Beatles tonight. I'm using my Riedels, and Jay is using his Sergio Bormioli, which is an Italian piece. It's just gorgeous. Legs and tears to they go on forever, man. Wow.
This is beautiful, beautiful tequila, and if you can do a nice extra anejo and keep the price down, then I would say buy. Snap it up, because once they get into that $200 a bottle category, it's harder to go out and pick one up.
Yeah, it's harder to pull the trigger on those bottles.
So,
well, it's a consistent,
unique aroma.
I think it's a pretty consistent nose, though, don't you? From the Reposado onward, I think.
Yeah, there's something else in here now that I'm gonna. It's got something like explosive, like right there at the top. It's got like a little bit of the maple and the sweetness. It kind of shines through.
I'm getting a much brighter or deeper orange. Now it started as an orange blossom for me in the Blanco, and now it's like completely aged into something like a candied or even a dried orange, orange peel, orange rind maybe.
Hmm. All these bottles are hand numbered as far as the bottle numbers. This the one I have is 2884. What's yours?
20. Let's see.
The
You would ask me to put on my readers. Let's see.
lower right hand bottle, the right handwritten number in the lower right hand corner.
Okay, this one is 2845.
Okay, so we're in the same ballpark back. But
you asked me about the 051. I'm not sure what that stands for. I don't know, and I wish I did, because there's a lot we don't know about the brand. It's relaunching. It's been around for a couple of years. I first was made aware of it at the Monterey Bay Tequila and Cuisine show a couple of years back, and I was close to getting samples a lot sooner, but that never happened. And then I guess they took on new investors, and they're relaunching and getting an extra añejo out on the market, which is cool, because I don't believe that at the time that I met them originally they had an extra añejo. I think it was just the Blanco and Reposado, and maybe they had an añejo. I wasn't sure. I couldn't even get into the table. The table was 8 or 9 people deep every time. The 2 years that I saw them, they had a lot of people at their table. So there's something about this tequila that's attractive to the public. I like visually, it's beautiful.
A nice light elegance to it. It's got the beautiful color. It's got the beautiful, nice light aroma. One thing you won't get with this tequila is you won't get a lot of alcohol on the nose in any of them. Something that a lot of people would like. I mean, you don't necessarily want that. You and I are like professional tequila drinkers almost. So you are. I'm working on it, but we encounter spirits.
Being honest, folks.
We encounter spirits that have like high proof and alcohol. But for those of us who don't sip on straight spirits every day, they're gonna love the accessible nature of this, because it's going to have that beautiful appeal to it. It's going to have a nice sweetness and a nice pleasant aroma. This one's got a lot of depth of flavor. I really poured myself like a good almost 2 ounces. I wanted to make sure I had a nice. It's starting to get heavy, so let's take a sip.
Yeah, let's take a sip. Let's do this. Wow. Oh wow, this does react a little bit like an extra añejo. Some of the more expensive ones, actually.
Oh yeah, I mean that is very, very nice finish. It's got that nice maple and vanilla, but it has it's not overly sweet. So
no, this is not a sweet tequila, folks.
Barrels up close of what they used for this, but I really like. So basically, what they did with the barrel aging, it was a good move. It definitely worked really well. I like the aged varietals far more than the Blanco, because I tend to be really picky with Blancos, and I need to be a little more open-minded. But this is killer aging on there, so it looks good. It tastes really, really good. And if you can get it at the price range, which I think it is, which is going to be less than $100 for an extra añejo, then I think it's you definitely want to grab some. But
this is, I agree. I think we opened it up at the beginning when we did the Blanco, and we said, this would be a great gateway tequila for anybody who's not, who's apprehensive.
Right. Well, they definitely refined it to the point where it's distilled to enough to be, pretty smooth and light, and not too aggressive. So you don't get that alcohol. So you get the nice sipability on there. But the extra añejo is definitely well done. It's beautiful. It's you can sip that all day long. I'll have another sip.
It's actually, I said this with the añejo. I think it's cigar forward. I think you could pair it with cigars. Jason does a lot of mixology. In fact, he started as a sous chef as well. So, in fact, he very often cooks with tequila, and once in a while he'll put it in his food, uh, but not always. But I think that this is a great for after dinner. I think it's food forward, I believe, but it's bold, and I like the añejo and the extra añejo are bold enough to stand up to like cigars, desserts, um,
Yeah.
and cocktails. I think
Great.
you mentioned something. What would you said something about an old fashioned with the añejo?
Yeah, the old fashioned would be really nice with this, and just like a bar spoon of agave and maybe some bitters that have a little bit of clove and
Oh
some
yeah.
baked, some baked spice. There's some great bitters out there nowadays, not just Angostura, but you go find a Bitterman's. Bitterman's has a new wintry blend. I forget what the name of it. I think it's maybe Transatlantic. Don't quote me on that, but you find a nice bottle of bitters in this, and then just a tiny bit of sugar, and you're in heaven.
Oh,
But I wouldn't mix. I mean, this I would just sip on its own. But that would almost apply more to the regular añejo. But this extra añejo is gorgeous. It's really good. Yeah, it's really really nice. I do stand by my previous statement that it's definitely like a modern style tequila as far as the flavor profile is not going to be. One of the first extra añejos I ever tried like 20 years ago is going to be like Herradura Selection Suprema. And you get a ton of oak, and you get a robust, a heavy oak balance, a little great sweetness. But this is going to be a more modern, lighter profile, but it's still really, really interesting.
yeah, I think the whole line is a good gateway for anybody who's again apprehensive in getting into tequila. You're not sure exactly what it is that you're gonna that you're gonna find. I think oak heads will enjoy this because I think the barrel management and barrel resting is really where this tequila shines.
Yeah.
Let's give you the ins and outs before we sign off here. It is I'll give you the idea person, the founder of this tequila, his name was Bruce Warner, and I think that's what Mr. Warner was going after, was this kind of a flavor profile with his line of tequilas. And as a matter of fact, he's actually signed. I think all these boxes are signed, but he's also signed the bottle at the bottom. And again, I'm not really familiar too much about what else he's designed, but he is the guy behind the brand, and obviously very well involved in the whole process. And now I think they're really going to launch and make a splash where they belong, because people love them. I don't, like I say, there's something mystical about this brand that people really enjoyed, especially in Central California. So
I wonder if this is sold in Mexico too. Do you know?
I don't know. Very minimal information. We're just going on our palettes and what we think we're getting.
I'm thinking like Guadalajara and stuff like that. I think it would do really well in Mexico just because it has that, with the 40 ABV, like most tequilas are. But
even if they dial back the ABV for Mexican bottling, like 38 or 36, this is probably at but see, it's hard to do that. I think with an aged tequila, you could probably do it more with the unaged. But what do I know? I'm not a distiller, so. But I can see your point.
It's more like higher proof whiskeys now that are like aged and then released at a higher proof. It'd be cool to see what they can do in the future down the road if they did like a higher proof version. You're starting to see that's kind of like a new trend you'll see in a little bit of the industry. Because the world is so hard nowadays, people need more higher proof stuff.
Well, we're still in the middle of a pandemic. I'm hoping I get my shots, available in July. Okay, because we're still in February here, folks. So I'm not sure. You'll probably see this one in March. But yeah, I think now
we have to model this before the end of the pandemic. Hopefully not. We'll see.
Yeah, I know. Right.
This is good.
What do we have a for sure price point on this, or are we estimating on this brand?
I'm only estimating based on what I know about the Blanco and the Reposado, but I would say, you're probably going to spend $80 or $90, but let's see. It could be. I've seen extra Anejos out there for as low as $65 or $75.
Yeah.
If it's a brand that's new to the market that hasn't been around for a long time, the advantage that Casazul has is like they've got a very recognizable name that rolls off the tongue. And yes, it might get confused with other Azul brands and other Casa brands, but they're kind of in that niche right there where they can compete. Like I mentioned earlier, they would compete favorably with Casa Dragones because they would be at a lower price point. For those smart tequila, sippers out there, they might want to go for that. So I think it's great. Overall, I'm curious to know more about Warner and Blanc. What else they import? We know that it's a modern distillery that has a lot of newer style tequilas, and it's well made stuff. It's good.
Yeah.
So, I would say
give you the number.
fantastic.
I'll give you the background here. It's a NOM 1489. That's Destilería Leiros, which is the home of El Rey de los Cielos and I believe La Reina del Sur, which is really popular right now in Hispanic markets. It's also home for Casa Dragones. And if you've watched our interviews before, they also are the folks that manufacture the tequila behind Laughing Glass, the ready-to-drink margarita mix, which we raved about because those recipes are awesome. So this is a very reputable distillery, and I gotta say, you know what?
I want to try that.
Yeah, I think it's a worthy try for those of you who are unfamiliar with it. I like their barrel management. I think you and I agree that this one went in sweet and finished dry, so maybe they're using bourbon barrels. I don't know. We don't know. I'd like to know more.
Definitely a bourbon barrel. I'm just curious to know where exactly they get. I like a little more transparency these days, to be honest. Like I think tequilas should follow the example of like David Suro and put as many statistics as they can out there for us, because I think that's what really eventually people are gonna want more info and more info. But
yeah, like I said,
there's a nice history as well. It's nice to know. It's at the end of the day, it's just a great bottle of tequila, and like let's drink it and have a good time.
yeah, exactly. There's no reason why you can't take this to a party or a barbecue, and you'll be the life of the party. But that's our take on Casazul. That's the extra añejo, and if you've had it, if you're watching us on YouTube, and you're please first of all subscribe, give us a like, and then write down in your comments, tell us what you think. If you've had this tequila in Central California, if you've had it in Monterey or someplace else, tell us what you think. We're open to. We love to hear your comments. But that's our take on Casazul tequila. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That gentleman out there is
Jay Silverman, Phoenix, Arizona.
You have been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. Again, if you're listening to us on iTunes and Spotify, go ahead, download that. Anywhere where you get your podcasts. If you're watching us on YouTube, again, subscribe, hit the notification bell, so that way every time we upload a video with Jay in it, your phone goes bananas. And whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely, friends.